Today, what is going on? Good morning, Brandon Dempsey, WorshipTeamTraining. What is going on, everybody? Good Friday, happy Friday. How are you today? Hope that you're having a great, fantastic Friday. Glad to see you. Welcome to the morning show. Thanks for coming in a little bit later. We had to move it by an hour, so thanks for your flexibility. I hope I didn't, ruin your coffee time or lunchtime or that kind of thing. So I hope you're good. Hey, how are you? Wow, it's so great to be with you on this Friday. Welcome, welcome. Louder isn't better. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. Rob, how are you? Rob's still on Periscope. Rob, we need to connect, man. So let's do it soon, shall we, please? And hope you guys are doing well this morning. How are you today? We're going to be talking about our topic in just a second. Hey, Charlene on Periscope, how are you? Many of you fine folks coming out on Facebook Live and also Periscope. Thanks for joining us. It is a great time right now to share out. Awesome. Share out this broadcast, please, with all of your friends, all of your people on Periscope if you're watching by that, or Facebook Live if you're watching by that, and hit the share button and share it out. TD, Terry, what's up, man, on Periscope? Share this out with all your friends, Facebook, on Twitter, and everywhere else. You can email people, hey, what's up? So thanks for doing that, you fine folks, Terry and also Charlene. Thanks for sharing us. Hope you're doing well today. My name is Brandon Dempsey, and I'm a child of God, happen just to be a default worship leader in this crazy world. But most importantly, I'm a husband and a father of 2. And I still have to wrap my mind around that because sometimes it feels like 4 when it's really just 2. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm also the CEO and founder of WorshipTeamTraining.com, and you can find all of our stuff there. So it's great to have you, and we do these broadcasts Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Today, only today, we're coming at you at 11. We had to move the show for an hour, so thanks for your help. Honestly, it was for our oldest boy. Had his first musical presentation today. Man, he just did so fantastic. I love him so much. He did the choir thing, he sang, he did movements, he sang in Spanish. I mean, it was just really, really, really cool. I'm so proud of my boy. Our boy, he's awesome. And I gotta also talk to you about the sound, because the sound at the school, whew, I thought, man, it can't compare to the church sound. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Anyway, we're gonna be getting to that and just right about now. And who are these broadcasts for? They're for you, worship leaders, pastors, musicians, singers, audio tech. Where's my audio crew today? Sean is on with us on Periscope. Who else out there is on the audio media tech team? Man, do we have some stuff for you today, and we want to hear your stuff of what you're going through in your ministry. Shout out to Kent Morris, our man over at Cornerstone Media, and also he has our sound here at Worship Team Training with our mentoring and instruction. Awesome dude. So I just got through ordering some products from him, but you can find him. I think they have a website or a Facebook page up at Cornerstone Media. Kent Morris is your guy that you want to search. He's the guy with the man with the plan that makes it happen. Anyway, we want to get into this today. Louder isn't better. Now, hey, if this is your first time to this broadcast, welcome, welcome, and thank you. Happy Friday. And if you would, so we always know who we're in conversation with, please type in all caps new and the city or country of where you're from. Do that, please, right now. And also, while you're at it, slide over and hit the follow button on Periscope. Hit the like button on Facebook. And if you're already family, even if you just watch one, all it takes is one replay. Then just type in fam, as our good friend Charlene did from Atlanta on Periscope. Fam, as in family. So we always know who we are broadcasting with, and also what is up with you and what you have to say. So that's how these broadcasts work. If you have an idea, a topic, a thought, a question, please use the comment window below and type that in. Even if you are watching replay, we still get the feeds and the comments, and we want to better address your concern, as well as you never know when you express what's on your heart, somebody else, it could be for their encouragement. You never know. So we're all in this thing together. So let's let the learning begin. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, please do that. That's at WorshipTT. Also, you can find our Bible devotionals at Bible.com. Download the YouVersion app, and you'll find 3 of our plans. That's Bible.com. Download YouVersion. Fantastic. Even better, Tony Guerrero is our webinar that's free in 2 weeks, May the 24th at 3 p.m. Tony has a lot to do with sound. This guy actually, Tony Guerrero, who is not only one of our fantastic hosts for the Worship Team Hangout, but did you know that he's an extraordinaire producer? He's actually a Grammy-nominated performer as well as producer. He's out in the LA area, does fantastic music. He's done some music for us, and you need to check him out because he's talking about raising the standard of your worship team. That is a free webinar coming to you at 3 p.m. May the 24th. Don't miss it. And where can you go? You can sign up right here. WorshipTeamTraining.com/events. Tony has worked with everybody from like Celine Dion to Alva Copeland, who was on our Hangout just this past week. Also Crystal Lewis. He's worked with a lot of great, well-known, fantastic people. He's also been on tour with one of the ABC morning show hosts. Does a great job. So I mean, Tony's just everywhere, just fantastic, and we're humbled and we're blessed to have him on our team. So fantastic. Go check it out, WorshipTeamTraining.com/events to sign up for the webinar with Tony Guerrero. It's free. There's your website. And also add us on Snapchat. If you haven't downloaded it already, you're missing out on all the fun. We create Snapchat stories throughout the whole day, connecting our article posts to these videos, but throughout the day, messages of encouragement, maybe some funny things. And I didn't do the coffee trick this morning because we were at our son's musical. But you can still, without further ado, download the app at your Google Play, Droid, or even better, Apple Store. And when you do that, search at us, WorshipTT. WorshipTT. We get followers every day, so we just want to say thank you guys for downloading the app and following us so that we can converse with you. Because, I mean, throughout the day, we get snaps from you, we get questions. I mean, the latest question I didn't get a chance to answer before the show went on the air was, how do you introduce new songs? So, hey, if you're part of us on Snapchat, you get to join in those discussions one-to-one with me. That's it. And then I'll do like a group share thing and share out scripture verses and all the good stuff that you probably want to know but don't want to hear. I don't know. Maybe not right now because we got our show to do. If you want to find out more about our mentoring program, just go to WorshipTeamTraining.com/mentoring, and we have a program for you that works. We're revamping it for a 3-week, 5-week, and a 10-week. If you want to study with us, with one of our mentors like Tony Guerrero, Laura Marriott, and a host of others. Let's get right to it, shall we? Louder isn't better. Why is it that we have to crank and turn things up because we think it's going to sound good? Is that really the case? I don't think so. Charlene, thanks for shouting out our website. Again, you can get this article and our website at WorshipTeamTraining.com and get today's article, which is called Louder Isn't Better. It's brought to you actually by our great friend, Sean Sunsfold. Sean is one of our mentorees who has gone through our first, maybe second semester. I know he's done some extended things with Kent Morris, who I just announced earlier. He is one of Kent's students that have gone through our program here at Worship Team Training in the mentoring program right there, WorshipTeamTraining.com/mentoring. And Sean has learned oodles of great encouragement and insight. And so today I get the pleasure of talking about what he shared with us. And it's fantastic because when you get a team together of guys that are really learning and they're sharing out, this is why we do what we do every day for you. Because we believe that resources, equipping, not just resources, but encouraging the renewal of the heart and of ministry. That's what it's about. So let's talk about these sound issues. What is your beef? What is it? Charlene says, screaming in the mic, is that worshiping? What do you say? Depends what you're worshiping. So that's what I say. If you're screaming into the mic, how's it worshiping? Well, I know a lot of heavy metal Christian thrash bands who do a lot of yelling, and they're worshiping. But would that be the same kind of genre acceptable in a church that's probably just doing regular pop or traditional worship? So screaming in the microphone there? Probably not that style. And if they are doing it, then yes, Charlene. The question is that worship? Well, what about this question? Is it edifying? Because, see, we can do a lot of things in our services that, like screaming, well, I mean, unless you're 2.5 years old, maybe, like our sons. But, anyway, screaming like feedback or screaming like, you know, if you're trying to show off or whatever, how is that edifying to the church? How is feedback edifying to the church? Can't answer that one. It's not. So I want to hear from you, Sean. Sean is with us on Periscope, and I don't think he's got his IEMs in, so we have to help him. Try to sing louder than others when people scream into the microphone is a huge problem, because not only are you killing the rest of the worship team and maybe those in the choir. Okay, so Sean says, here he is. He says, I do. I didn't propose to you, so I don't know what that means. Okay, anyway, Sean, let me just ask you guys. Let me ask you guys this: what is among some of the struggles that you face within your audio ministry? Or let's put it this way: I want to ask the audio engineers. Let's flip it around, because that's really what the show is about today. Audio engineers out there, including Sean. If you can think of one thing to say today about what is your beef about worship teams, what is it? Okay, so Charlene says, she's a choir member, she says, constantly adjusting the loudness of mic. Okay, that can be one. What about you? I know you guys are typing in, so feel free to take your time. I know sometimes the typing in gets a little bit cumbersome. Tracy Hurd says, every Sunday sounds different, but we have the same singers. Huh. Wow. Maybe they're multi-personality type singers, right? Just taking a stab at it. Singing in the same mics, and they all sound different. That could be talent. You never know. Dustin says, too many volunteer BGVs on mics. That could be an issue too. Sean says, media teams not being included in part of the worship team. Oh, you got to go there. And then JCG says no sound checks. That's a major issue. Come on. No sound check? I mean, we do sound checks here before the show. I check, you know, we get all that stuff done. But, I mean, for no sound check, that's like, I don't even know how to describe the screaming that's going on right now inside of my body. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. My mind. Anyway, that's not good. So, yeah, it's not good, Reeves. No, on Periscope. So Dustin says, too many volunteers on the mic. Yes, especially if they're not trained very well. Tracy, thank you for your laughter. So, if you are, let's do this. Reeves65 on Periscope says, I hate loud music. Okay. So, the last church I was at, less is more, absolutely. Last church I was at, surprisingly, because it was a very high urban, very high energy, gospel driven church, and they liked the music loud. Now, for me, it was a bit, you know, I was like, man, you know, I want to enjoy Hezekiah Walker, but probably not at the point where it's making me deaf, you know, I mean, so, but every church is different, and I spoke with the pastor about this church, and he said, you know, you got to hear the singers, absolutely. But the pastor had said, but we like it loud, and that's how we're reaching our community. And sure enough, he was right. But every church is different. The church that we're at, I think they run, I don't know the dB range, maybe 91. I'm just taking a guess because I'm still brand new there. But, I mean, you know, most churches, I mean, loud is okay, but it's got to be clean. That's what Sean says. That's true. But I agree with you, Pastor Reeves, that the singers must be heard. if it's too loud and you can't hear them sing, then how can you participate? So that's where we're at today is, yeah, how's worship edifying if you can't hear the words? And then Pastor Reeves says his dB range is 90. I think 90, 91 is good. 89 kind of loses energy a little bit, you know? But this is so true. Louder is not better. We think it is. We crank up our amps on the stage. You know, my sound engineer at our church just went to the mat for me in many ways. Tried to help me with my own monitor adjustment. I use a combination of an Avion system with my own little speaker, but I also have access to in-ears as well. So I can flip back and forth, and everything is controlled right here. It's not too much. So I love that, and he's worked very hard. I mean, we went in and rewired under the stage. We got some of our other personnel involved to do some rewiring, and it really took a lot of work over the past 2 weeks. But what's awesome about it is that since it's done, and Matt, thank you, because Matt is the king wizard behind the board and under the stage with the wires. So Matt, we couldn't have done this without you at our church. Thank you so much. But Matt did an incredible job, because when that Sunday hit and we did service, people in the room in the worship service, they said right afterwards, they said, thank you. They said, thank you. We can actually hear the singers sing. And it was awesome. I mean, they could hear the choir. The choir was mic'd correctly. The drums were remic'd. All the monitor systems were redone. And everybody can hear themselves. And the one thing, Sean said this on one of our last scopes, and I'm going to tag on that. The one thing that helped us too is helping each musician and player, singer on stage to realize they don't have to have the entire mix in their ears, or if they're using floor monitors, because you don't really need to hear the organ part unless if the organ is driving the car. You don't necessarily need to hear the lead guitar player. I mean, really, like for me, what I encourage the choir to hear is like my voice because I'm leading, or if it's Sophia or Elaine, one of the other women that are leading up front, to hear their voice prominent first, and then hear whatever instrument is driving the car at that moment. Sorry for the disconnect there, guys, on Facebook Live, but we're back. So whether we're talking about monitor mix, okay? So monitor mix, you don't need to have everything in your ears at once. So like I was saying, I encourage the choir to have whoever is doing the vocal leading, to let that be prominent, and then the prominent instrument, whether it be piano or rhythm guitar, both, so that way they have a tonal reference. But they don't need to hear bass, because bass is just going to reflect off the walls. The way we have it, they each have their own, the choirs in the back loft, they have floor wedges. And the problem with where we're at is that it's very sound reflective, and it's very hard corners. So we have to adjust the monitors just right. In fact, they use just very little monitor power, and they actually can hear things from just a little bit enough from the stage, like my voice, and that's all they need. So it actually works great for them. We figured out some solutions that work, and it's not stage volume heavy. So that's what I encourage other singers to listen to as well, like a little bit like hi-hat to keep in time, the rhythm instrument, and the main vocal lead. Those three things. And then also your harmony singers. You got to have your harmony singers in the mix as well. I do the same thing for worship leaders, drummers, bass players, guitar players. It's your choice what you want to do. But again, I stress like no more than 3 instruments. 3 instruments that you can anchor in very well. Because what happens is when you have like, you're trying to dial in, you know, the lead guitar, but if a drummer, you got to have bass, you got to have yourself in there too, you got to have rhythm. But if you're like really, you know, you want to hear piano, you want to hear organ, you want to hear the second keyboard player, or you know, the banjo player, you know, and everybody in your mix, what's going to happen is you become numb to that aurora of sound, and then that makes you play out of balance in many ways, because you're disoriented, number one, by all the different instruments around you, and you're not able to focus on each one. And yeah, at the same time, you cannot hear who's really driving the car, which should be the vocalist. And why do I say that with every scope? Why do I say that? Because the melody, yes, the melody keeps people on track. The melody is where the church finds the gravity. And if you're not giving the church the melody and the lyrics, they're going to be lost. And so any good Nashville or LA, New York studio musician would tell you the same thing. They would tell you that the main vocal melody is king, no matter what. The vocal melody is king because they format the entire song around that one voice and helps them with expression, everything else. So moving on, because there's more things to cover in just the short time that we have. But the focus here, like, we're talking about like a clean and a clean room. I love what Psalms 147 says. They celebrate your abundant goodness and joyfully sing of your righteousness. They joyfully sing. If we're making bad sounds, we can't joyfully sing, right? Pamela, what's up on Facebook Live? Glad that you're here. And so the focus, is that with all of our sound, it can sound like a mess, but the cleaner mix that we can make, the better it's going to be in the room. And so what we do is, what Sean recommends as well, is that we always sound check the mains first and then the monitors. It sounds kind of backwards for most folks. The reason is because if you crank those monitors up first, then you're leaving just a small threshold for the audio engineer to do their job in the house. And actually, they're going to have to crank the house to overcompensate what they hear from the stage. So it's backwards. You should let the band play one song, let the audio engineer do their job. Worship leader, don't say anything about what you want in the monitor. Just let the audio engineers do their work in the house, get the house mix right first, and then deliver the sound check to the monitor mix. It works a lot better that way. And so, plus everybody's able to focus on one thing at a time. So, moving on, another thing that's very good is walking the room. That's something that Matt does a lot. Walking the room is so important. If you just stay behind the board in this one little crevice and you don't move, or you just want to sit back on your stool, number one, you shouldn't be sitting down anyway. You should be standing up, all hands on deck. But walking the room is gold because you're able to hear dead spots. If maybe the vocal is not coming through. Even worse, if maybe a speaker is down. And you won't know it if you're on the other side of the room. So walk around, check, make sure speakers are on. There's no corrupted cables as well. You don't hear any crackling. Or if a speaker is blown, you won't know if you don't walk the room. And also walk the stage. That's another thing as well. Walk the stage and listen to the monitors if you have wedges. Or if they're using in-ears, also just walk around and listen to, is there stage noise going on? That maybe, is there a second snare drum behind the stage that's causing more rattling? Or is there something on top of the speakers or anything? So you just want to pay attention to that. So if this, I love this. Psalms 150 says to praise him with cymbals. And what Sean said is that if those cymbals sound like a trash can lid, they need to be replaced. So it can be completely distracting. Sean, what do you have to add? Sean's watching this by Periscope Live. We're about to wrap up in just a minute here because we're just making it a short scope today. Sorry, but we're going to come back with some more. But if you would, let's wrap it up. Sean, what are some important points that you find that worship teams need to know from their audio ones, from their audio leads? And so I'm going to kind of move on as he's typing in. You guys are type in your final questions, please, as we're about to go. Feedback. Get feedback from people after worship. I find that important. Number one, Sean says, trust your sound engineer. Oh, yes, absolutely. What they say goes. I mean, number one, it's always going to sound different from where you are on stage versus where you're at in the house. Right, Sean? And so you may be thinking, yeah, but, and then Sean says also, number two, to treat them as equals. They are the team. You cannot do anything without your audio media tech. Are you crazy? It won't work. You got to team up with them. They got the power of the mute button. Number three, understand their role. Understand that they're there to serve you. They are trying to do everything they can to help you celebrate what God is doing through you on stage. And if you treat them like they're second class, I mean, that's just not cool, and it also speaks negative leadership to everybody else. Sean also says to spend time with them. Spending time with your audio crew and your media crew. I mean, look, buy them donuts one Sunday. It's not going to hurt you. You know, go out and buy them all coffee. That's an awesome thing to do before run through. When they're, I mean, because those guys are there early, checking cables, checking channels, and they get there before anybody else. At least they should, because those are the things they should be doing. But you know, get them some gift cards, buy them breakfast, and just say, hey, I just want to say thank you for all that you do. I'm telling you, if you do that, dude, they will give you the best sound in the world for like 10 weeks. But they'll also be your best friend, and they're going to be right there for you. Because the audio guys, look, everybody knows that they're, unfortunately, just like worship leaders, they got a target on their backs. So who do you think the first person is when the church member complains, and who are they going to blame? And next in line, it's going to be your sound engineer. Because after all, they're the ones making everything loud. So encourage them. Thank them for what they do. Thank your slide projection people. It doesn't matter if they were late for one word. Who cares? Thank them for showing up. Thank them for being there. Your people who do your video, your cameras, your lights. If you don't have those people, great. But find somebody in your church that you do have and thank them, because a little bit goes a long way. So we got more coming up. We're going to do some snaps later on today, and we'll be talking a little bit more about the sound. But more importantly, how can we sound as one? That's our hashtag today. Our hashtag is audio for one. Hashtag audio for one. Sean, love you. Thanks for being here, and thanks for the awesome article. Sean Sunsvold, everybody. Thanks so much. Sean did awesome. And if you want to catch more, please follow back on our website, WorshipTeamTraining.com, and find this article, Louder Isn't Better. And when you're there, do like what Sean did. Look, if you are a worship leader, tech person, musician, singer, you need that extra nudge, that extra step, that extra person to come alongside and say, you know what, I've been there too. And this is what worked for me, or this is what didn't work for me. Sean found that in our mentoring program. Again, Sean is a graduate from our ministry mentoring program that you can find at WorshipTeamTraining.com. We have a 3-week, a 5-week, and a 10-week program, all adjustable to you. You meet with one of our mentors or me or any of our fantastic instructors for about 1 hour a week, based on 3-week, 5-week, or 10-week, whatever you choose. Pay as you go at your own rate, no big deal. We got a book that coincides with the study, and also an assessment test to quantify your leadership and to get you moving down the path that God has already called you to. And if you don't get help from us, then we invite you and encourage you to please get help from somebody, because your role is that important, and people do take your ministry seriously no matter what, even if you think that they don't. But you know what? God's called you to it. Nobody else has. And so we have that freedom in Christ to know that we're God's kid. He's called us to a bigger purpose, and He's right there who always walks beside us. And we serve within a team, hopefully, that nurtures that kind of spirit. We do here at Worship Team Training. So check out our programs at worshipteamtraining.com/mentoring. Guys, it's time to go. Thanks so much for joining us today. It was fantastic. We got a lot of good information and coming up next week, because we want to do some more sound stuff, because we know that this really hits home with a lot of you. So thank y'all very much. If there's comments that you have, questions, even some thoughts of maybe what was not said today, or an idea for a next show on audio tech, would you please comment in the window and let us know, because we want to improve and get better at what we're doing to address your needs and to share the conversation. So please do that. Head back over to WorshipTeamTraining.com. Comment below in the windows that you see watching this video on the replay. So thanks for that, everybody. Love y'all. Have an awesome day and an awesome weekend, and we'll be back with you soon on our next show, morning show, coming next Monday, regular time, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and you'll be seeing us along the way with our posts and articles on Sunday as well. Love you guys. Thanks for being here, and see y'all very soon. Bye.